Nicolas Mayer-Rossignol, former chair of the Normandy Regional Council and candidate for mayor next spring. Thank you for being with us here on France 24.
Thank you for your invitation.
Let's begin with the latest. The state superintendent, the préfet, announcing in the last few minutes that there are no traces of asbestos from that fire. Are you reassured by what the government has said so far?
Well, you can see around me, people are asking for more transparency. Asbestos is one thing, but there are many other, things that we would like to have transparency on. What was the reason for the explosion? That's a very simple question. We don't know yet. What was in the whole maze we faced, and we don't know exactly what kind of molecules were there. So I'm not saying that this is not really a political debate. It's a sanitary issue. People here are worried. They are asking simple questions like, should I put my children, confined at home? Can they go to work, or can they go to school safely? And unfortunately, all these simple questions have not received simple answers. So we are just asking for more transparency. And we're also asking for reassurance that somebody is going to pay for all the degradations that have occurred, because people couldn't work. For example, myself, I work in a company. I couldn't work because the company was stopped, so we lost revenues, and many farmers lost revenues as well. So we don't want to worry anyone. We just want clear and simple answers.
Clear and simple answers. You heard the Prime Minister's initial reaction 2 days ago, where he said that the smell was bad, but it was safe to go out.
Yeah, well, I'm not a doctor, and I don't think the Prime Minister is either. So I understand what he's saying, that it might be safe now, but we know that there are some molecules that might have a long-term effect, like heavy metals, for example. And we just want to know that how all the people who actually had some breathing with the maze and with all the thing we had to have in our lungs. We just want to make sure that we will have a long-term follow-up, sanitary follow-up. It's not a question to scare anyone, but we had a very dark cloud here. So we just want to make sure that on the long term, there is no sanitary issue. So we need a strong follow-up. We are just asking for rigorous measures to be put here.
Lubrizol, the factory, which is owned by Halliburton, which is owned by Warren Buffett's company. It's U.S. owned. They made solvents for paints. Let me ask you: they're saying the fire breaking out wasn't their fault. Your thoughts on Lubrizol?
Well, the origin of the fire is not yet determined. So we should not talk without, the scientific and the technical facts. I don't know, and nobody knows for the moment, why there was a fire at this moment of the night. So we need an inquiry, a strong and rigorous inquiry, to determine the reasons for that fire. But we are all certain that that fire was not something normal. So I'm not saying that what Lubrizol is saying is true or wrong. We don't know. We just want a strong, impartial, independent inquiry to take place to make sure, again, to have a simple answer to that simple question: what was the reason for the fire?
And this is a site where there had been problems before. They'd been fined €4,000 back in 2015 for a safety violation. Your thoughts on standards down near the port of Rouen?
Well, the standards are indeed very high, and it's clear that all these sites are very rigorously monitored usually, but clearly there has been some mistakes and some failures. So we need to check all the procedures to make sure that all these procedures are, revisited and further refined and further optimized, because clearly there are some failures. Now, we should be reasonable and also not mix up all the different, accidents that happened in the past, because the reasons for all these different accidents might be different. So as long as we don't know the actual reason for that specific fire this time, we cannot say that it's the same reason for last time. So we should be, we should make decisions based on scientific facts. So I'm not saying it's not the same reason, I'm just saying that for the moment we don't know. But clearly the emergency procedure has not been efficient. Clearly the flow of information has not been fully efficient. Clearly many people here are worried, and clearly many simple questions have not been answered.
One final question. The hardest hit in the short term are area farmers. They've had to throw out their milk, throw out their apples. It's harvest time right now. Nicolas, Mayer-Rossignol, your reaction to that?
I mean, clearly people are asking for compensation. As I told you, many companies had to stop working. Farmers, as you said, had to throw out all their production. So this comes with a cost, and a significant one. And it's not just for one person or one area or even one city. It's a whole region. It's a national thing. So we are just asking for fair and objective compensation. And I'm sure everyone should agree with that.
Nicolas Mayer-Rossignol, former chair of the Normandy Regional Council, thank you for being with us here live on France 24.